Okay, welcome to lesson 8. Let's start off with the stretch exercise. I'm going to keep you on that tough stretch from lesson 7. It's one where we try to get up to the 6th fret. So take a look at my left hand and let's see where we are. Start with the first finger, 1st fret. Second finger, 3rd fret. And try to get your 4th finger to the 6th fret. And drop down the string, do the same thing. Tough stretch, so keep at it. Okay, let's get into this week's tremolo exercise. I'm going to keep you on the same one we did in lesson 7. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4 frets on the left hand. Then you go backwards, 4, 3, 2, 1. Doing 8 down up picks on each note. I want you guys to really start using your wrists now, not your fingers. That's where your speed's going to come from on the tremolo. So here it goes. Drop a string. Go across all the strings. Faster there, but that's kind of where we're heading. We're trying to get to that kind of speed. Okay, this week's gymnastic, it's going to have some sharps in it and a natural. And it's going to work, there's no open strings in this week's gymnastic if you look at your handouts, and you should be able to read that music. So basically it starts on the, take a look at my left hand, it's going to start on the D sharp. I want you to put your 4th finger, 4th fret, 2nd string, that's your D sharp. And the next note is the F on the 1st string, 1st fret. Next note's the G, 3rd finger, 3rd fret. 4th finger, 4th fret for the G sharp. Now you got a little slide here. I want you to slide your 4th finger up to the 5th fret for that A. Now that's the top of the gymnastic. Now you're going to come right back down to the G sharp, G, F, D sharp. So it's a little tricky one, so let's do that in a little bit of fast motion so you know what the sound of it is. Then you go down the string and do the same thing. So work on that one this week. Okay, let's get into the back pick this week. Again, I've showed you 2 ways to do this. You can do it with the pick or with your fingers. Depending what style you guys are leaning towards, I recommend practicing, either with the pick. You want to be a lead guitar player, you want to get into classical, in some country, you want to practice your finger picking. So basically it's where you make an F chord, drop your 3rd finger. I'll show you the finger pick method. Review that. 3rd finger, 1st string, 2nd finger, 2nd string, 1st finger, 3rd string, and then your thumb's on the 4th string. And it's the, you alternate the strings there. 1, 3, 2, 4. Slide it up. Same thing. that's the finger pick method, and you keep doing that, that's really going to help your classical style finger picking and arpeggios of chords. And you already, you know how to do the pick method. That's just, you use the pick, do the same thing. All the way up to the fret. Okay, this week we're going to dabble a little bit with the blues. What I'm going to show you this week is a couple things. First thing I want to show you is the actual blues pattern for playing solos. In your handouts, I've laid out the pattern, first pattern of the blues. It's your basic blues pattern, and I've shown you where the dots are and where you put your fingers. So we'll start on the 3rd fret. Get yourself in a G chord position on the 3rd fret, and basically the first string you're going to hit 4th finger, 6th fret. First finger, 3rd fret. Same thing on the next string. 3rd string, you go 3rd finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger again, 3rd finger, 1st. If you look at the pattern on your handout, that's basically what I'm doing. That's your blues pattern. You want to memorize that. That can move in any fret and be in a different key. So it kind of follows the bar chord technique, where this pattern follows the 6th string's bass note. So if you're on that G, you're playing the blues in G here. On that pattern, slide it up 2 frets. You're on an A pattern, playing the blues in A. Now, there's a few different things you can do. It's kind of an experimental thing. This is your pattern you want to keep within when you're playing the blues. Whatever you do in there, that's your creative side. You're creating a blues lead solo, using that pattern. The one thing I just did there is called a bend. That's where you hit a note and you kind of, that's done a lot. So that gives you a little flavor to your solos. And that's kind of like a tremolo move where they hold the note in vibrato. It's a vibrato. So bends and vibratos and blues sound great. That's basically what they're made up of. And you're trying to keep your notes inside of that pattern for this week. So memorize that pattern. Again, I'll go over it. Try and improvise a little bit with it and jump around, play a little blues solo. Have fun with that. Okay, since we're on a little bit of a blues theme here, I want to show you guys what they call power chords in blues. It's basically thousands of blues songs have been written using this 1-4-5 pattern. And what that means is you're going to play in the key of G, you're playing the G first. It's your 1 chord. And then you play the 4 chord, which is C, the key of G. You come back to a 1 chord, G, and you go up to a 5 chord, which is the D, back to a 4, back to a 1. Now, what a lot of songs do, they play 2 strings on this, and I'll show you what these are called power chords. If you look at my left hand, I'll show you how you play those. Let's say we're playing in the key of G, for instance. You're going to start on the 3rd fret. Take your 1st finger, put it over on the 6th string, 3rd fret. You take your 3rd finger, put it on the 5th fret, 5th string. So you play those 2 bottom notes. It's a power chord. It's a G power chord. You notice I'm lifting up. Remember I told you to release the pressure on that left hand once in a while. The electric guitar cuts the note right off. So it gives you that staccato kind of a feel to it. Now, the next move on this, in a lot of blues songs, they play that position first for 2 downs. Then they add the 4th finger 2 more frets up to the 7th fret. So you got something like this. that's the G power chord with the little add in it. So that's your 1 position. Now the 4 position in the key of G, kind of just move that same finger pattern over 1 string. So you're going to put your first finger on the 5th fret, 5th string, 3rd fret, I'm sorry. And you take your 3rd finger, 4th string, 5th fret. So now you're in the D chord position. Do the same thing. And you come back to your 1 chord. Now you're going to take this position up to the 5th fret for the D chord, and you want to put your first finger on the 5th string, 5th fret, your 3rd finger on the 7th fret, 4th string, D, doing the same thing, jumping for that extra 4th finger. Slide down to the C. Come right back over to your 1 chord. That's basically, a name for that's called the 12-bar blues. I've laid that out for you in your handouts, and you can practice that. I'll play it for you so you know what it should sound like. That's kind of what you're after there. So it's a fun pattern to play, and you can play thousands of blues songs with it. Okay, this week's chord study, I want to show you a couple more bar chords. I want to show you some an F7th chord. Again, it's going to be in the F major position. And I want to show you F minor 7th. So that way we're going to have a pretty good arsenal of bar chords working for us. Take a look at my left hand, and we'll start again with the F major bar chord. Remember, that's the one you want to start with a C all the time in your head, you know, not when you're playing in front of somebody, but that's the concept you want to get. That thumb behind the neck on a bar chord is important. Throw that first finger across the 1st fret. 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 5th string, 4th finger, 3rd fret, 4th string. That's your F major. We'll start from there. Remember what we did for the F minor, all we did was pick the first finger off. That's your F minor. Now what we're going to do for the F7th, we're going to keep that first finger barred. We're going to take our 2nd finger, put it on the 2nd fret, 3rd string. And I want to take your 3rd finger, put it back over on the 3rd fret, 5th string. F7th chord. And again, that'll move up like everything else does in that position, up to the 3rd fret to G7. So that's your F7th. So far we got F major, F minor, F7th. Now you have one simple move to make it an F minor 7th. Pick your 2nd finger up. It's F minor 7th. Kind of a jazz kind of a chord scene. So that's 2 new bar chords for you for this week. Okay, this week's song is going to be What I Like About You by the Romantics. It's a fun song. You can play it with either open chords or bar chords. I like the basic, the content of the song I like to play with open chords up on the 1st fret. There's a few chords in it. There's an E. You know that chord. It jumps to an A. Back to the E. Okay. And there's a D chord in there. So it's basically those 3 chords. much the whole song. There's a little bridge area where you have a G chord, to a D chord, G, to an A, to D, to an A. And you come up to a B chord, you want to use your bar chord on that second fret. And it comes back into the verse of the song. A little bit of tricky right hand there. You want to keep your up and down motions in there. So download the song, get the song, play along with it, and I'll play along with it in the next second. Okay, now I'll play along with What I Like About You by the Ramones.